Hello, everyone. Welcome back. As you remember, we are working on this patient wait time problem. We put together our mean chart already. Now it is time for us to put together our chart as a summary. So far, so good. Our sample averages look to be under statistical control, but we have to look at the variation in samples as well. So that's why we will have to construct the R chart or range chart. Okay, so let's go back to our summary sheet to see what the steps are for our chart. All right, so let me zoom in. All right, in the step one, it's asking us to calculate the sample ranges, Ri, which is going to be the max value in the sample minus the mean value in the sample. We already calculated that, right? We already have those points. That's nice. Let's take a look at step two. Step two is asking us to calculate the range averages. Well, does that sound familiar to you? Well, it should, because in step 5a, that's what actually we did, right? We calculated range averages so that we could use them in these formulations on the mean chart, right? So since we calculated already, our step one and step two is a check. Now step three tells us, okay, then just use these formulations to calculate your center line, upper control limit, and lower control limit, and we will be done. Okay, so let's take these formulations and then let's put them on our slides so that we can move forward in step one. Just to remind us that step one, it's a check, right? Step two, we have to calculate the R bar. I already did that here. Let me take it, copy and paste it. So it is 0.38. Okay. And step three was just go ahead and use your center line as your R bar. Right? I don't remember the formulas for UCL and LCL. So for UCL, it is D4 times R bar. LCL is D3 times R bar. Okay, step four. My UCL, well, I'm still in step three, I'm sorry. Okay, it is D4 times my R bar, and my LCL is D3 times R bar. Okay, so what is D4 and what is D3? Well, these are the parameters that you will have to look it up from table 6.1 on the second page of this formula sheet. You do have the last two columns dedicated for D3 and D4 respectively. As I told you in the previous video, we look at the sample size, which is 8, and we intersect it with these columns. We see that our D4 is 1.864. You write it down. Our D4 is 1.864 times my R bar is 0.38. And my D3, according to this table, is 0.136. Great, 6 times my R bar, and I will calculate these values. I'll do the math very quickly here. 1.864 times 0.38, that is 0.708. And for my lower control limit, R bar is going to stay the same, D3 is going to be different, and that is 0.136. The number is 0.05168. All right, so let me go back to my iPad so you can see my calculations. Okay. I got them all. So I do need CL, UCL, and LCL to construct my R chart, and I have them already. Let's do it. So my R chart, this is my range or R chart. Okay. On the y-axis, I do have UCL, and that is 0.708, 0.708, and my control, well, center line is equal to my R bar, and that is 0.38, and my lower control limit is equal to 0.051, I will just say 0.0517. Okay. Okay. So again, these are just straight lines. Okay. And on the x-axis this time, we are just going to put our eyes. So these are sample ranges. Okay. I do have 6 different samples. So first one, second one, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth one. So let's see what those values are. Again, those values are just going to come from this table right here. And I already noted them down here. And I'm going to make sure that I can represent them correctly on this chart. All right, so let's put the dots in the right position. So the first sample range is 0.76. 0.76. Okay, so it is right here, right? It is actually higher than my upper control limit. My second sample range is 0.43. 0.43 is somewhere here. And my third one is 0.32. It's slightly below my center line. My fourth one is 0.41, slightly higher than my center line. 0.33 is my third one. Sorry, my fifth one somewhere here. And the last one is 0.03. 0.03 is smaller than my lower control limit. Okay, so let's connect them by using a straight line. Okay. All of a sudden, you already saw this. The first one is and the last one is, beyond our upper control limit and lower control limit. So this chart is for sure is not under statistical process control. Something is going on with this process. So if you look at the overall points, you see that there's a negative trend here, right? As I said, this is the right time to stop this process, to take a look at what's going on, right? Well, our conclusion here is that this process is not under statistical process control. Although the average chart or mean chart or X chart is telling us that the averages are fine, we see that the variations in the ranges are not fine. So we have to definitely send a signal to the people on the ground or whoever is in charge of this process and say, hey, there's something going on with your process, take a look. That should be our conclusion. Okay, so this is how you put together your range chart.